Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about stuff. I want you all to tell me what your favorite cryptocurrency is and why other people should be buying it right now in the midst of this gigantic bull run altcoin season that we are having. I like to play a game with myself sometimes where I have to guess and see if reality is actually happening, because it can't actually be that we're always getting brand new companies who are announcing that they're buying cryptocurrencies. It's just actually not possible. I myself refuse to believe it. For years, we had almost no attention paid to this space. And now all of a sudden, crypto is being put forward as like the answer if you missed it earlier this year. We had a lot of CEOs. We had Larry Fink announce that the U.S.'s debt levels, the U.S.'s deficit was far too large. If this continued, Bitcoin, he said, Bitcoin would become the new world currency. We've had a lot of banks the last few months announcing that they're buying Bitcoin. We've had a lot of countries announce that they're also buying huge amounts of Bitcoin. They're creating crypto reserves, which is insane. It makes sense, but it's also a little crazy as we see de-dollarization efforts continuing to pick up across the board. In case you've somehow missed it in some capacity, the U.S. dollar is caca-poo-poo. Yeah, it's actually pretty bad what's happening. The world reserve currency has lost around 15% of its value comparative to other currencies just within the last 5 or 6 months. And then you sit there and you go, well, I'm in the U.S., I don't care. And then you go to the supermarket and you go, okay, now I care. Yeah, the devaluation of the U.S. dollar has been pretty intense. The knock-on news from that is that apparently because of this mass de-dollarization, because of people getting away from U.S. stocks and equities and assets, a lot of this money, as we've gone over before, is moving into crypto and more so into Bitcoin. Bitcoin has like the bulk, 95% plus of the time that it's actually in the news. We're getting news that the United States is going to have allow people to use Bitcoin for mortgages and for 401ks and anything else that anyone can possibly imagine and or think of. This, of course, is then leading more companies to announce that they're getting into Bitcoin. They're buying more Bitcoin. They're acquiring more cryptocurrencies to kind of beat out inflation. That was one of the earlier ideas for Bitcoin, and it didn't go out the window so much as a large portion of what Bitcoin became, or the narrative around it was digital gold, being used as digital gold, buying digital, like this idea of just buying Bitcoin and holding it. But now we're easing our way into this idea of actually using it as like a treasury asset, some kind of a reserve, or even using it as an actual currency, which is also a thing that we're going to be grappling with over the course of this year. A company by the name of ProAP, because why not? You got to have a weird name, right? A company by the name of ProAP has apparently acquired 3,724 Bitcoin, worth around $395 million on Tuesday, just a day after they announced that they were going to go public. Okay. It's founded by Anthony Pompliano. Anthony Pompliano is like the younger version of Mike Novogratz and Michael Saylor. He's not as eccentric, but he years ago was not far more popular, but Pompliano used to go on like CNBC, and he was kind of kind of the face of crypto for a while. He was the person who would answer all the questions, who were talking about acquisitions, who were talking about where he thought the price was going to go. He's kind of just not been in the spotlight as much as other. I mean, to be realistic, if you have Michael Saylor sitting there talking about buying 700,000 Bitcoin, it's going to make a little bit more better television. So yes, a company by the name of ProAP has announced that they almost purchased $500 million worth of Bitcoin just on a whim. I'm going to assume logically that they're probably going to do the exact same thing in the very short term. A lot of the companies who are popping up and announcing that they're buying Bitcoin, it typically is over $100 million of a purchase. This one is $400 million. And then usually a week or two later, they start announcing we bought 14 million more, 22 million more, that kind of thing. Because, you know, there's not a lot of Bitcoin left. I've never mentioned that on the channel ever, not once in my whole life. But in case you didn't know, Bitcoin's incredibly finite. BlackRock alone is buying 5 times the amount of Bitcoin mined per day. Just one company. That's not even the other ETFs. And then we keep having brand new companies every 24 hours who are also announcing that they're also buying Bitcoin. So I would logically, I'd like to assume the amount of Bitcoin being purchased per day, it must be 10, 15, 20x what's actually being mined. So when I say that things are undervalued, that's usually what I mean, because, you know, there's a lot of people buying. The company called the Blockchain Group just purchased another $12 million worth of Bitcoin. They currently have 1,904 Bitcoin, valued at approximately $202 million US. The Blockchain Group being one of the more recent companies that we've heard about within the cryptocurrency space. They are located in France, as far as, yes, they're located in France, and they are one of the other handful of companies who kind of clustered together. They're not working together, but they were in the news roughly around the exact same time about their acquisitions. They're part of the group of companies who I'm talking about, who continuously re-enter the news. They made an initial large purchase, and then every 4-5 days, the Blockchain Group. There was another one. Who was the other one? Of course. There's the Blockchain Group, and then there's a company in Germany called the Bitcoin Group. That's why I was like, there's another. Of course, they have the same general name. And the Bitcoin Group is doing the exact same thing. We are getting these companies every single day announcing more purchases, more buys, getting into the space. Exactly how much more they want is a gigantic question mark. We have a lot of companies who've announced that they want 10,000, 30,000, 100,000 Bitcoin. It's never going to happen for them because Bitcoin's, you know, the more you buy, the less there is. The more you buy, the higher the price. Logic. So a couple of companies have said they want 100,000 Bitcoin. And if we end up, so saith the analysts, if we get to a $200,000, $250,000 Bitcoin, you know, good luck. Good luck getting there, because you'll have to really pump up those numbers to kind of get to that many Bitcoin for your reserve. Yeah, this is every single day now. This is the world that we live in. Somebody was trying to be a, I'm going to use the word smart aleck. That's a nicer word. Smart aleck, and was like, why is the news the same every single day? Isn't anything happening? And I'm like, these are the people who miss out. These are the people, if someone tells you every single day something that's going on and it sounds the same, you should probably be looking at why this trend is happening and where all this money is going, as opposed to being annoyed that the news is the same every single. You're not getting it. You're not understanding. Don't you realize we're not talking about Cardano every single day? We're not talking about Stellar Lumens. We're not talking about Pepe Coin. It's the same crap every single day. Who's buying all of this Bitcoin? What's happening in this market? Is everyone getting it? I know a good fraction of you are, but to everyone else out there who keeps complaining about the news or what's going on, you should really be paying attention to like how to like. Oh, okay, I'll phrase it to you this way. I will never tell you what to do with your money, but gosh darn it, maybe pay attention. Yeah, so I give it less than a year. Logic. We're going to see no more Bitcoin left on crypto exchanges, on websites, anywhere, relatively. And it's going to be very difficult for a lot of people to realize that, like, they wasted the last 5 years of hearing this news year and a half. It hasn't been 5 years that we've gotten this news every single day. It's been a year and a half. So when Bitcoin goes to $1 million, when Bitcoin's at $7.4 million, when you can use Bitcoin for a mortgage, when your 401k has Bitcoin, when all the richest people are sitting on beaches talking about how they bought Bitcoin 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago and they're the richest people on the planet, just remember these moments. It is pure logic what's happening right now. Well, methinks that's going to do it for this video. I sincerely do hope that you've all enjoyed. I hope that you're all doing well. Hope you're all remembering to take care of yourselves and that you're all having a great day. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.